5 seconds. The next one's coming in. Bam! I put the cigar out on him.
Ouch.
I laugh, and I'm pointing at the other kids. Who's next, Chubby? Is it you? Is it the fat kid? Freckle face? Who's part of this? And these kids are going to be pissing themselves with fear. The fear factor is what you got to get in their kitchen, Fez. You got to stay there. That's where this war is going to be won or lost, in their 9-year-old minds.
I also don't want to slip in any of their piss.
Yeah. Here is Sean. Sean, you're on Fez.
What's up, buddies?
Yeah.
Number 4824.
All right, buddy. How you doing there?
Real quick, can we give these kids headgear or
no? There's no headgear.
Kicking the crap out of them.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. This is the thing that's going to happen for you. And Master Paul, I know you've been through this before because of your training. You got to think to yourself, I might be killing this guy with this shot. I might be killing this 9-year-old. And I personally have already known I can deal with that. I'm fine with that part of it.
Well, you're going to be beating them up pretty good. You might at least give them some kind of protection from getting their butt.
No, I'm not going to throw out protection here. Because I don't need headgear. Why do they get it? There's an infinite amount of them. I think I could beat up every kid in the state of Delaware. I'm not going to go through a larger state, but if you took a state the size of Delaware, and what are you at there, 3rd graders?
Right? Yeah.
And you bring them all in, and you line them up, bring them in by buses, and then we get the black kids out. I'm not fighting anybody from Wilmington. I'm gonna fight the kids from Claymont, maybe Bethany Beach, lower Delaware, if I have to. I think I'm just going to keep knocking them out one after another.
They're all lined up like they're going to see Santa.
Here's Lou. Lou, you're on Fez.
Hey, what's up, boys? 26078.
Way to go, old school.
Hey, listen, all you got to do is open slap these kids. You don't got to punch them.
Right.
Just open hand slap. None of these kids have ever been beat up by. They never get a good beating by their father.
Right.
They're just like, they're marshmallows.
And nothing hurts more than getting hit in the face.
That's it.
A
good hand slap.
Most of the time, and I'll check with you, Mr. Poe, let's say in a bar fight, you hit a man right square in the nose, he doesn't want to fight anymore, right? It's over for him.
Correct.
Because it hurts. And I don't care what kind of shape you're in, that hurts. Well, with a 9-year-old, this is going to be the worst pain he's ever had in his life. So one punch, Fezzi, ends him.
Well, that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss.
Please,
If you've never punched anyone before, your first punch, you're over. You're done. Because you really don't know how to position your fist.
Right.
And if your wrist is just bent down a little, then you're going to break your wrist. However, what this gentleman just said, use your palm.
Right.
Absolutely. You could palm heel, slap.
All right,
yeah,
good.
I break my wrist. What do I do with the other 2?
And what do you do for a date? The other 2 what? Wrists?
The other 2 9-year-olds.
Oh, I had no idea where you were going with that. I thought you had 3 wrists. So good points. This is going to be helpful, everybody. Write some of this stuff down that Master Poe was saying. You may want to look into more kicking and just palm shots.
Kicking?
And, yeah. And I'm saying, I know, you're saying, you're not going to. You kick a kid in the throat, a 9-year-old in the throat. It's going to end it.
I got to get my leg up that high.
Kick him in the stomach if you need to, Fez. Kick him in the stomach. Joe, you're on Fez. Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Fez.
Good.
Master Poe? It's a pleasure.
How you doing?
Hey, I have a 9-year-old, man, and he's like 4'7" or 8, 75 pounds. And, man, you multiply him by about 10, and you got a problem, man, because this kid, he's tough. He rides his bike all the time. These kids are in shape, man. You got to be careful.
Well, maybe your kid is. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, okay, so you're out there in the desert, your kids riding around. Okay, I'm talking about a lot of these little suburban kids, these little fat asses. And most of them are gonna blow up by the time they even get into the ring.
Is that the average size of a 9-year-old, like 75 pounds?
I'm going to say picture Fez as a 9-year-old, and you'll see what you're looking at. We're not fighting that little Tarzan kid who was on the news a while ago.
Yeah, some of these, my kids that are training, 9 years old, they can do 100 jumping jacks, 50 push-ups. So if we're talking unskilled, then I could see it.
We're going unskilled. I'm not going against your trained killers, that army that you've set up of just little ninjas, scary little ninjas throwing Chinese stars at people. And you also train them to steal? How does that work out? How's that? He's like Fagin down there, Fez.
No one hears these ninja kids coming in the buildings.
No. Those kids are frightening. Steve, Big Steve, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, guys, great show.
Yeah, it is.
I'm wondering...
Sure, when you're talking about intellectual stuff like this, you are going to have a good show.
How many times can you punch these bony heads and flailing arms before, your skin just gives out and you start bleeding or the pain gets to you?
All right, well, hypothetically now that this actually happens...
it's happening.
It's going to. I've already talked to the folks at XM. We're going to do this experiment.
If you execute, like, let's say a vertical punch,
right,
and you do a series of vertical punches, you can pop out 50 punches in 5 seconds. So that's 50 kids. And depending on
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, depending on your training, if you're comfortable with hitting things, then it wouldn't bother you. You don't feel the
right,
especially if you're punching correctly. As soon as you make a mistake, then you're in trouble. Because you're going to break your knuckle or you're going to break your wrist or something's going to throw you off. So you would have to use a straight line attack, not just a jab. If they're coming at you all at once, then make sure you use a vertical punch and you constantly throw those punches like a flurry of punches.
Interesting. I'm probably also going to wrap a belt around my fist, too, Fez.
Well, if you wear it into the ring, I think you're allowed to use it, right? It's pretty much anything goes.
Here is, here's Jared. Here's the gentleman who wrote the email. Jared, interesting point you came up with today. How are you, buddy?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Yeah. How about for you, Jared? You're the one who, did you come up with this idea, or did you hear it somewhere?
No, this is a discussion that me and my retarded friends talk about.
This is what I call pot talk. After 2 joints, you get into that, hey, how many 9-year-olds do you think you could beat up talk?
Pretty much.
Yeah. How many for you?
I estimated somewhere between 50 and 75.
Yeah.
But I have a friend, John, who came up with the number infinitive. So, just endless, countless.
Well, that can't work out because sooner or later you're going to die from old age. So, we can't have infinity.
Waiting for 8-year-olds to turn 9 so they can get in on this.
At some point you're going to need sleep, whatever.
Just a quick point to clarify. It is all a group at once, not old school Royal Rumble style.
They're all running at you at once.
Right, exactly.
All right, now that makes it a little more difficult.
Right.
Because, that's like a sea of ants.
Yeah. And I've succumbed to them.
So it's a line of kids directly in front of you, and they're coming at you one at a time.
Exactly. All in front of you.
One at a time.
Exactly.
Nobody behind you.
No, I mean, they're all around you. So
you're surrounded.
Exactly.
Oh, you're surrounded?
Exactly.
Oh, no, that changes the formula.
Yeah, I think so, too. Let me ask you this. Can I use a sickle?
You can do whatever you want.
What?
How many of you have a sickle, and I'll just be swinging that around?
Wait till you hear the ring announcer scream he's got a sickle.
If they're coming at me all at the same time. They want to fight fair, we'll fight fair. If not, I'm grabbing a sickle, and I'm lopping some kids' heads off.
The best idea you came up with was you set the tone with the first one, and then you said, you want a piece of this next? You want some of this? And then you set the tone like that.
You keep up the verbal barrage as long as you've got the wind to talk.
Oh, exactly.
Sure. All right. I like that. I like the fact that you're going to have some fear into them. It's an interesting thing. How many 9-year-olds could you beat up? Now, on the other hand, if it was girls, it would be scarier because when my kid was like in 3rd grade, the difference between a third grade girl and a boy is unbelievable. A boy in 3rd grade, he weighs about 60 pounds, right? Maybe even a little smaller. Girls are going about $125. They've got a good 2 feet on them. They've got gigantic breasts, and they're just like this. I am so in love with your son. And you're just like, hey, seriously, stay away from him. You're fucking frightening. I'd rather he slept with a teacher.
A 3rd grade girl, every bit of them is thick. It's big, broad shoulders.
I don't know.
It's thick forearms, thighs, calves.
I don't know why there's become this discrepancy between the way little girls grow and little boys grow. When I was younger, it was like an inch or two. They were like an inch or two taller than us till we hit like 5th or 6th grade. Now they've got a good 1.5 feet, sometimes even 2 feet, and 100 pounds on the boys. If he never needs any help with schoolwork, I'd be glad to come over.
They have to put them in the back of the classroom or the boys won't be able to see the chalkboard from over their heads.
It's like 2 species. It's like Chihuahuas with St. Bernards. I don't know what happens with them. Someone says it's the steroids in chickens, but I don't know for a fact.
I don't know. You get a big 6-foot 3rd grade girl in there dropping a Hogan leg drop on you.
Yeah, we're not
That's
fighting.
Brutal.
We're not fighting girls. With that one, will be how many you can have sex with. And I'm still going to go 50.
And still use the sickle.